Well, I am okay. There we go. Was having a little bit of trouble. It wasn't connecting or completely connecting. Okay, that is not what I want. There we go. Anybody in here yet? Well, it has been a cold week. I'm gonna wait on some people to come in here because it's kind of weird talking to yourself, ain't it? I do it all the time, right? The bad thing is the live videos don't get a whole lot of views after. Get a few, but not a ton. How you doing, Rob? Looks like you're the number one person in here. Now, I appreciate it. Uh, has it been cold up there? Because I have froze my rear end off down here. And I am so happy that the forecast shows that it's starting to get warmer. Tomorrow, the low is 12, then 27, then back down to 17 and 15, then back up into the 20s. By next Tuesday, it's supposed to be a low of 39 degrees. So I hope it warms up at least a little bit. I went through this is it happened pretty quick, but I went through my I don't know what it is. It's a blue plastic barrel. I don't know if it's 55 gallon. I don't think it's 55 gallons, but it's probably 45 to 50 gallons. I went through it of oil and I I dumped 20 gallons in it today, 22 or 3. So I'll go out and fill it up, fill my heater up again before I go to bed. And I hope I can get up early enough to go fill it up in the morning. I'm just trying to keep the shop at 50 degrees when I'm not in there. How you doing, Pete? Uh, but yeah, it's it's something. I probably got another 100 gallons of oil in 5-quart jugs, and I've got two 50-gallon drums, 55-gallon drums. One of them is about a third full, and one of them's full. I was doing a video on my pump the other day, and I pulled some oil out of it. And of course, I'm pulling from the bottom, and 5 gallons of the first 5 gallons was mostly water. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. If I'm going to pull another 5 gallons out of it and see if that's still water, and so on and so forth. Made a mess. I'm still trying to figure out how to not make such a freaking mess dealing with this oil. I don't know. It is very frustrating. Let's see. Looks like we got someone else in here, but don't know who it is yet. Whoever you are, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Uh, half an inch of snow today. So it's snowed on us 3 more times this week, at least, that I know. Because, like, got footsteps outside, go outside the next day and they're covered. So, and the road I live on is a private road. It was never took over by the county. And so we've got at least packed snow about this much on the road. I've got a big old pile of snow in front of my mailbox, and my mail won't deliver, which is very frustrating because I got tools coming. One of them, they tried to deliver it Friday. They tried to deliver it Friday, and it said the mail lady couldn't deliver it. She's been delivering to some other places on the block, but she won't deliver to mine because of that pile of snow. And I don't have any, I haven't got the snow off my sidewalk. I would do it, but I'm going to be out of commission for 2 or 3 days after that. So I don't know what to do. I also understand that what is it? It's a liability. So yeah, I just got an idea today though. Y'all tell me. I mean, I just got an idea right now. Y'all tell me what you think about it. I'll tell you in just a second. Let me read through some comments. Uh, Pete, could you do a reserve tank in the auto top off? I'm thinking about that. Tell me what you think, Pete, and I'm going to explain this. Today was the last day on 30% item. Was going to grab another pair of pliers. Yeah, I just didn't want to get out. I haven't got out too much. I did get out to eat. Wife made a work trip to Washington, D.C. Poor thing. She has the worst time with flights. And she made it out to D.C. just fine. But they delayed her flight 3 times on Friday night. She was originally supposed to get on the flight back to Louisville at 8 o'clock, 8 or 8:30. They delayed it a little later, and then they delayed it to like 12:45. 12:50 something. She finally got on the flight at 12:50 something in the morning, and she got home at like 3 something, or maybe 4. It's pretty ridiculous. Rob, the problem is the tank is 10-gallon at the bottom on the floor, so I haven't figured it out yet. So I've got 2 possible solutions. One, if the tank with the lid on it is tight, won't leak, I thought about running a tube and connecting, a hard line, connecting it into my tank, drilling a hole in it, putting a fitting in there and everything so it won't leak. But the tank's got to be watertight. Now that is so I can go through whatever. I don't know if there's a filter in the tank or not, but I want to be able to use that if there is. Another twist on that I'm thinking about is putting a hole in the cap and feeding it through there, so then it goes through the strainer and then in. So one of those two, or plumbing it directly into my oil drum. Now, to do that, I want to make sure everything in that drum is good. And what I may do also with that, if I was to do that, is to plumb it about 4 or 5 inches high. I don't want to plumb it at the bottom because I don't want it picking up any trash that is settled just in case. But plumb it 3 to 4 inches high, and then just go from there. Pete, you know how our heaters operate and how they are. What do you think about any of those? And with that last one, I would keep the tank full. That way I didn't have to worry about the float cutting it off because it would never go dry. But I would have to make sure I topped off my tank every day to make sure it didn't mess around and go dry. Because yeah, even though there is a safety and it would cut off when it doesn't see flame, I just, Rob, the problem is tank. So in the fish tank world, we have float switches. You want, just in case, 3-minute max run time, etc., and a basin around just in case. With that float, could you fix that float switch though to stop the flow if you don't have a pump pumping it into it? So if it's just gravity feeding, I would want to somehow cut the flow off if I did that. Stainless steel screen, okay. You're talking about inside the pickup, not the strainer for where the fill is, right? A sediment catch on the bottom, put a magnet over a false bottom. Yeah, the bad thing about putting a false bottom in it is I'd have to cut the barrel open. So that would be frustrating. That would work. I just never seem to have enough time. I really do need to do something. Uh, which one would work? Rob's idea about the float switch or some of the ones I was talking about? I'm going to work on all this stuff during the summer. I'm going to make me a settling tank. I'm going to put it out in my shed. I'm going to put it inside a kiddie pool that has sand in it. The sand will be there to catch the oil and any water that ends up in there, which I'll drain it. So it won't be necessarily to catch oil, but it will be to catch whatever residual oil is in the water when I drain it from the bottom. And that water in turn will evaporate into the air and it'll just be left with oily sand. That's the goal. And I'm going to use the big truck diesel tank that I've got out here. That'll be what I use that for because it'd be big enough to hold a significant amount. And I may do a secondary so that I don't just keep adding to one. But I don't know. I haven't figured it all out yet. But yeah, I need a settling tank, especially people giving me watery oil. Yeah, it sucks. It really sucked when I was pulling out of that drum because I was thinking this is going to be a good oil. He kept it in the barn. It wouldn't. No. No, it had water in it. And so I've got a 5-gallon bucket that I filled that I've got to set to the side. What I've thought about doing is taking that particular one, putting it outside and let it freeze. Let the water freeze and then pour the oil off the top of it. But yeah, very frustrating. Yes, that would be an electric switch. I'm sure we can engineer something either. I could tell you in the dealership, we had the auto top off system fail once. It is worth the extra effort for a catch basin required for EPA commercially, of course. Yeah, I'd have something that was EPA approved. I shouldn't have done the air quotes, should I? I should have, though, when I put my tank in, I should have put a catch basin in it I didn't. I'm regretting it now because I've overfilled it uh, 3 times, 4 times. Pete, have you ever overfilled yours? Like it's taken so long to fill up, so you're like, I'm going to go do this one thing, come back, and you've got 10 gallons of oil on the ground, or is it just me? I've did it too many times. It's very frustrating. I think modifying the original tank to be larger capacity would be the cleanest. That would be the cleanest, but it might take it might take the most effort. Um, I guess you could always buy a bigger tank. Maybe the tanks you can get for external fuel tanks for your truck, your pickup. Buy that. Make sure it's one that's large enough width and depth, whatever, so you can mount the heater on top of it. You could do that to keep from. I could build one, but it's after spending the money on the steel and spending the time on building it, I could probably buy one of those external tanks and use it. Happens all the time. No, I don't spill. I use a 2-gallon jug to fill it. That would be smart. I need to do that. Um, so if you haven't seen it, I've got a 50-gallon drum on a stand about 4 or 5 foot, whatever the right distance is. I've got it there, and I've got a 1-inch inside diameter hose running off of a spigot from there from there, and I put it into my fill and I turn it on. I've been staying with it now, but I don't know. It just takes so long. I should probably, I don't know, to do what I'm doing, to try to strain it. So essentially, I'm triple straining it. I've got a strainer in my funnel in the top of my barrel. I've got a strainer on the end of my hose. And then, of course, it's got the strainer in the fill area. But it's bigger holes than my other 2 deals. So there's that. But really, that and fooling with my knives is all I've done this week. I'll show you a little bit of what I've been playing with. Okay, hold on. So I've got while I was in the military, of course, you want to have you want to make sure you got Gerbers and stuff. So in the late 90s, I bought me my first Gerber, and they call this a model. I don't know, but it's an early version of the 400 before they put the little bitty slides on it. This right here. Before they put these. Here we go. Before they put these on it. So here it is. Well, I was taking it apart one day, long years and years ago, and I pulled this one out. I was trying to clean everything up. I pulled this one out and it's press fit. And when it come out, the push button sprung out. I think I lost the spring, and then eventually I lost the rivet. I'm gonna call it a rivet. And so you got the other side. Well, I kind of stopped using it then because what it does is there's nothing holding it in here, and it'll come out. I finally wrote Gerber, see if they can send me some parts, and we'll see what they do. I don't know. They say they got an 8-week response time, which is a long time, but American made. As a matter of fact, I think all of my Gerbers are American made, except for the fake Gerber I've got. And that one was free. I found it somewhere. I don't remember where. But going through all of them, and so on that note, I wrote Gerber and I asked for parts for three different ones. The second one was this MP newer MP 400 because of this. So I guess the 400 is the smaller version and the 600 is the bigger version. So here's a 600, and they got many different variants. But this is a 600, this is a 400. I like the 400. It was better to, have on my hip. This one is a flat nose, and it's got the bit kit with it. I don't remember buying it. I really don't. But I'm sure I did because only 2 of these did I find somewhere. And the third one I sent Gerber a deal about is I lost that screw right there, and see if they would provide me one. And that'll give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That'll give me 7 pairs of multipliers, multi-tool pliers, working ones. Those BOs, black oxide ones, were military, or I got issued in military. So I've got 2 of those. Here's the other pair. And these come in this nice little case. And here's my Chinese det cord ones. These are fakes. It's you see it in person, it's easy to tell, but they're made to crimp blasting caps, and it's got that to, I guess, push the det cord, in or whatever. I would use parts off of this, but they're not right. They're bigger or whatever. some of the stuff is thinner. Some of it's like the screw that's missing on that one is bigger, is a lot bigger. And plus it's the thread is not right. And I told you I found one pair. This is another pair I found. I forget what model these are, but they went with the Leatherman style folding deal. These were pretty nice. I really liked them. I never liked early Leathermans. I don't know what the later ones ended up being, but they hurt my hand because the of the way they were, because the pliers would fold in, but it was just a big hole right here with thin sides. So when you grab a hold of it and put a lot of pressure, I guess that would have kept me from breaking that other pair if they'd have been like that. Let's see. And why'd you come on, Siri? Last pair. Now these are cool. I never knew. I never looked them up, and I never knew what model these were. They're little bitty. I've got it wrote down somewhere now. I know what model they are now. I did a lot of research on them, but these are American-made Gerbers, but they're branded Hesco Bastion. So if you don't know what a Hesco is, or Hesco Bastion, it's this huge. They made them in different sizes, but like a 4 foot by 4 foot square that's like 6 to 8 foot deep, and it's a steel wire mesh. But the mesh is about like that, probably 3 or 4 by 4 steel mesh, whatever. And they've got a cloth liner, and you take them in military, we fill them up with dirt, and essentially they're big sandbags. So we build walls out of them. And they'd have different sizes. They had little 2 foot or 1.5 foot ones, and I dealt with 3 different sizes. But these right here, they would come with, every now and then you'd find a pair of these in with the kit. It come with the kit. You laid it out, you stood it up and stretched it out like an accordion, and then you fill it up with dirt. We filled those big ones up by hand before, and it's a son of a gun. Yeah. They're great tools in every vehicle I own. Yeah. They're nice to have, really nice to have. And I really like these. They're neat little tools. They've got they have, I thought that, yeah, no. I think they have scissors on them, but I could be wrong. I guess not. These don't have the scissors on them. That's just something, I've had them for a while. Like I said, really like them. And they come in super handy. Let's see. Now that you mention it, I recall losing 2 of them myself. I understand. I hate losing tools. I hate losing anything, but I've lost a few myself. Have a couple of those those cheap generic ones. I've got a few of those too. I have one I keep in the kitchen, and it comes in handy a lot. I need to keep one in the kitchen too. I don't know why I don't. I gave most of my cheaper ones away. Um, and I probably gave Dad a good one. I don't know what would have happened to it. It might have ended up with my brother or my nephew or someone. I don't know. So this is one that I'll never be able to replace. It's Knob Creek twice barreled rye. It's 100 proof, and I think they only made one run of it. It was a $42.95 for this bottle, and it's delicious. I mean, you can see y'all see most of my bourbon, and very few of them are like that. And I'm the one that's drank most of that. I don't know that I've shared a lot of that with people. But it is what it is. Gerber makes them for Snap-on too. Looks the same, having the Snap-on name on. That's cool. I didn't know that. I'll have to look in the catalog. Matter of fact, I don't know what is in the student excellence program this month either. I didn't get anything for January. Okay, they haven't updated it. So it's still for January it was sets. Wasn't nothing in there I was super interested in. Let me look at something. I'm gonna look see what my son bought during the month of January. He shared his password with me, so he didn't buy anything in January. Well, hold on. He didn't buy anything in January. There wasn't anything super great. Hopefully February when they release it, it'll be. I should have looked to see if the multi-tool was in there. I had a first sergeant. He would get mad at us for calling those Gerbers, even though it was Gerber name brand. But he would say, "Well, that's a name brand. You can't call it that. You got to call it a multi-tool." Okay. I mean, I guess other people called them Leathermans instead of Gerbers for all the multi-tools. You know, I preferred the Gerber, always did. It's pretty good. The flavors changed. The flavors changed a little bit, but it's still good. They look like the ones I have in my fishing vest. I don't know what brand my brother has, but he keeps it on the side all the time. I used to. I've got to where I want as little on me as possible. Except when I go to school, I carry my wallet, I carry my keys, and I carry my knife. And in the other pocket, I carry my phone. And that's too much. And I wouldn't carry this in my front pocket, but I can't carry my wallet in my back pocket. It hurts too bad. I guess I could put this elsewhere, but there's not a whole lot of places I can put it in the summer other than my front pocket. In the winter, I could put it in the coat pocket. But I lose things when I put them in the coat pocket, Like I forget they're in there. So there is that. Uh, so about, I guess it was almost a month ago, a company reached out to me. Now, a lot of companies reach out to me and ask me to do stuff, videos, right? Hey, can we send you this product? And a lot of times it's they, for some reason, well, not some reason, motorcycle companies, parts companies have sent me stuff, but I didn't think the quality of it was going to be all that great. So just, I typically ignored it. A company sent me a thing a few weeks ago that I ignored, but it was some type of capacitor that you hook up to your battery that held a charge so that no matter what, unless you like reduced the charge and your battery wasn't full, you should wouldn't have to worry about a dead battery. I can't explain it any further than that, but essentially it was a second battery. But I guess your alternator fills it up and it holds that charge so that when you go to crank it, and I thought about using it, I thought about doing it, but I was a little, I wasn't really sure about it. So I didn't. I probably should have checked it out, but the commitment sometimes for these things concerns me. Um, so I did. So the one thing that I have did a video on quite some time ago was a welder. The company sent me a little cheap welder. Art Captain sent me an email wanting me to do one of their welders, but I sent them I had a delayed response, maybe about 4 days delayed response on my second response to them, and they haven't got back with me yet. But this was also before the storm, so I don't know what they did. But this company sent me socks. So I'm a cheap ass, okay? I don't buy socks. And this part, I haven't done their sponsored video. I'm telling you about the socks right now in my first impressions. So it's not, video-ish. And, you know, I'm going to be honest with them. The name, I hadn't heard of it before. And tell me if y'all have heard of it. It's called Highwell. Let's see. Highwell. These are merino wool socks. They're kind of thin. They breathe pretty decent. They breathe pretty good because it wicks the moisture away from my feet pretty quick and cools them down, which would be great in the summer. I wish they'd have sent me some thicker pair for the winter because I have cold feet. So, and it's good that it keeps them dry, but I got cold feet all the time. I had a heated back pad that I put under my feet at night to warm them up. So, yeah, it's horrible. Yeah, it's bad. But they sent me these socks. I'm trying them out. I've got a video. I got to do a video, a long form video, or it's got to be part of one of my videos. And I've also got to do a short form video with the socks. And so far, I like them. I wish they were a little more cushioned. I don't know that I could have got some that were more cushioned. As a matter of fact, I think these are more cushioned than the ones I got on. But anyway, and another thing about them is I'm not going to put these in the video, this in the video. They don't stink. They don't like, I don't have stinky feet unless I wear the same socks for 2 or 3 days in a row. And even then, maybe, these don't stink. They're pretty good socks so far. Now, remember I said I was cheap. These socks are 20 something dollars for 3 pair. I forget what they were. And I'll get a code for them later. I've got to email them and get a code to get a discount on them and all this stuff. But I would buy another set of these. The only expensive socks I bought prior to getting these is mostly it's like Hanes or whatever. And as a matter of fact, I wouldn't have bought, my wife bought me new socks. I wouldn't have bought new socks. I've been wearing my green military ones, and I've got like 6 to 12 pairs brand new still. They're probably going to rot before I use them now because I don't want to start using them with all the socks I've already got in my drawer. But I really look forward to using these riding my motorcycle. I want to see how well they're going to do with that. Because, man, your feet get, and especially in the summer, feet get hot. They get real hot. So I don't know. Do y'all buy expensive socks or y'all buy the cheapest thing from Walmart? I don't know if I finished my thought there. The only expensive socks I bought was I bought a pair off the Snap-on truck, and I love those things. They're super thick and soft. Don't know that they're real good at wicking the moisture away from your feet, and they do stink, but they're comfortable. My brother had bought me a pair for Christmas 5, 6, 7 years ago. And I finally got on the truck 2 or 3 years ago and bought me a pair. So other than that, these are the only expensive socks I bought in a long time. Let me rephrase that. While I was in the Army, early on, I bought expensive socks. And I've still got a bunch of them. Like, got some thick wool socks and stuff like that. Because I told you my feet are cold, and I kept trying to buy stuff for my cold feet, and B, that were good to use on ruck marches that didn't wear blisters. And I found the best thing for that was the real nice silk or satin. It's got to be a real smooth socks, but the silk or satin dress socks, they had to be really smooth. That was the best thing. Put on a pair of those and then put on a regular pair of socks. Best thing for doing ruck marches I found. Now, another thing I would do is I know what my hot spots are where I typically get blisters, and I would put duct tape on those areas beforehand. Also, another thing I would do is take deodorant, stick deodorant, and put it on my feet. Help keep them from sweating. So I just told y'all really wanted to know my road march, foot march techniques. I was in pretty good shape at that time, and I could knock out some miles. Even when I was in my mid-30s, I was still coming in way before some of the younger people, um, on 12-mile road marches. Um, Now, the 2 hour and 10-minute times for 12 miles, I wasn't doing those in my 30s, but it was still like 2 hours and 30 minutes, 2 hours, 35 minutes, which isn't bad for a 35, 37-year old that has beat his body up already for 12 years or so. Now I'm going to go back and catch up on some comments. Has the scissors in it. Seems a bit awkward there. I've ran capacitors in the past, but theoretically it will drain as well and degrade in time. Yeah, and see, let me find the email and I'll explain it to y'all. I'm bad about not deleting emails anyway. And y'all tell me what you think. Should I have looked into this? Okay. Now, here's one for a thermal camera I didn't bite on. I didn't do. Uh, I can't find the. I can't find the collab. Super Starter. It's Ansel from Ansel, and see. It's a Super Starter BS200 from Ansel, Ancel. It's a permanently installed supercapacitor system that keeps the car always ready to start, no matter weather, battery age, or level of discharge. I thought about either using it on my old pickup or using it on my tractor if I did it. Says it's always ready, no pre-charging, extreme cold performance, works down to -40, permanent installation, a smart app with live battery data, start history alerts, engine base safe, no lithium, no swelling, no explosion risk. Here's what they were wanting to give me. I was going to get an exclusive first review, one free product, a part of the affiliate program, and part potentially long-term partnership. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I should have tried it out. What do y'all think? Should I have tried that out? But yeah, here's the thing. I'm afraid of products, and here's why I'm afraid of them. I do not want to tell y'all about a crappy product on here. I want to be able to, so I pick and choose. If I think a product's going to be good, I'll take it. Because if it's not good, I've got to tell you that. So I just don't want to review a bad product. And I have reviewed some bad products that I bought myself that I thought they were good, ended up being bad. We talked about that last week. So I don't know. See, my dad has a bottle of Bob Knob Creek. He bottled. This is the bottling plant. Okay, that's cool. Fingerprint on the cap. Seems like they'd be great in my ski boots. have essentially Under Armour, a thin layer of wool, then a thick wool sock. Under Armour, they were pretty decent in the Army. Under Armour, I didn't start seeing them in the stores until I was about halfway through my career, maybe a third of the way through the career, two fifths, something like that. Somewhere before my 10-year mark. It's really cool. You're getting those companies wanting you to do reviews. Yeah, it's cool. I probably shouldn't ignore them, but sometimes I ignore them when I shouldn't. I have a few good expensive pair of socks, skiing, especially thin wool for hiking as well, but day to day it's just cheap stuff. Yeah, that's the thing. In all reality, we should probably treat our feet better. Most of us are on our feet doing manual labor and stuff. We should probably treat our feet better, but we don't. I don't know. Clean and dry feet are important. Yes, they are. I got some 10 pair of packs at Menards, $5, bought 3 packs. I don't know how much the wife paid for the Hanes last pack of Hanes she got me. There's like a 10 or 12 pack, and they've done pretty good. So what I do, I will not throw a pair of socks away until they start getting holes in them, or the tops get so stretched out that but I don't have that problem a ton anymore. So eventually I've gotten rid of most of my white socks that I wore when I was, for physical fitness and everything in the military. And now it's pretty much these black socks that the wife bought me, a couple of pair of snap-on socks, and now these, and maybe just a few pair of white socks, and all my green military socks. The black socks, I wasn't a big one, other than the green military socks, wasn't a big one on wearing colored socks. It was always white. So, yeah. I think products like that truly need a long-term 2 outdoor winter kind of review, not 3-week deal. I agree. It is hard to get a good opinion on something, but socks, I can't speak to longevity, but I can speak to how they feel and how they've been performing so far on my feet. I do want to wait till I wash these once to see what they look like. And let's see. Care tips, cold wash, low dry, no bleach. So the low dry gets me because we wash everything. I mean, we dry everything on hot or medium. The cold wash, we do medium for that for pretty much everything too. The wife isn't one of those wives that does all the separating, and we pretty much do whites and coloreds, 2 separate loads. So that's pretty much it. We wash everything together out of those 2 things. So in all of our towels and stuff, no matter the color, going with the whites. So I am currently building my own super capacitor and lithium jump starter that will be recharged with a super small alternator powered by a small 49cc engine. That's pretty cool. That capacitor setup would be great to see on the tractor. I agree. I am going to contact them And maybe it's too late because that was sent January 6th. So, you know, uh, the one for the handheld thermal camera was sent December 14th, and I never responded to it. Uh, yeah, I'm just waiting. I'm kind of excited about Art Captain getting back with me. I really want to try theirs out, but let's see. Her last email to me, January 16th. No, January 19th. I responded January 22nd. So, and I told her what I would like to try out, but I also told her what I was building next and what would probably be the best thing to try out. So I was hoping for a multi-process machine, possibly the MiG 250 or the TIG 200P, but I wanted to try the Cut 55, the plasma. So yeah. It's a little warm, the bourbon, but yeah. Uh, I can't do my laundry because of that. I just leave the default and send it. I the only thing that my wife does wash separate is clothes that I've worked in, like really worked in out in the garage. I know y'all don't see it, but I when I'm able to go out and work, I don't film but maybe a third, maybe a fifth of what I do. Or maybe I filmed it and couldn't make a video out of it for some reason, didn't have the right footage, or it just doesn't feel right. So, but I'll come in and I I'll wear these pants 3 or 4 times and they'll be nasty. But I've only got, a handful of pair of pants that I wear to work in, and I'll wear them till there's threads. Because I'm cheap. And a lot of these pants that I wear to work in, because my nice ones, I wear them till they're threads too, as nice pants. So a lot of these, like these, I can't. Uh, these that I've got on are old, and they were probably thrift store bought purchases when I bought them. And a lot of times that's what the last time I bought pants to work in, I bought from a thrift store. Now I wish I could find a uniform supply place for my summer working pants to buy some of those, but I haven't been able to. I haven't looked, but you know. So there's that. Well, I've jumped through a million topics tonight. Let's see. I think I've asked before, but if any of y'all enjoy officially, I'll gladly send some homemade soft plastic lures your way. About to hit the man cave again and make some. That's cool. I'll let you know. It's been a long time since I fished, like a long time, like really fished. Okay, not just went out with my dad and spent time with him more than fishing. I'm talking about going serious, going out trying to catch fish. I've lost probably 90% of the technique. It probably come back to me, but yeah. Last time I was really, really into fishing, I had gotten good with using not spinner, rooster tails. Used a lot of rooster tails at the time. really was trying to get into bass fishing big time, but never got good. I catch a few here and there, but only thing I've ever been decent at is catching catfish, bumping the bottom with a piece of liver. So, my cousin used to work at a stone quarry growing up. My aunt used to hose him down outside before he could go inside the shower. That's awesome. I wanted to put a bathroom in my garage, but it's running the water and then running the sewage. It's frustrating. Y'all have seen it. I've got the place where they didn't put concrete just for that, but I don't know. Have you ever thought about doing a live-in portrait, live-in portrait? Oh, okay. Um, Vertical, doing it on the phone. I don't know. I probably should do both, mainly because there's an audience for that wouldn't do this. The thing is, the comments. I want to be able to answer comments, but when I'm talking, it's harder to go back to the comments on the phone or the iPad like did last week. Here, Pete, I don't know if you've done it yet, but with the way I'm doing it now, the comments all stay up on a thing beside me. And they may scroll up, but I can always pull them back down and they're always there. I don't have to keep tapping the screen to make them pop up or anything. And that last week was a little frustrating and it was distracting as well. This way they're there. I know they're there. They can scroll through. I ain't worried about going back to them. I can hit them. But the other way, I don't know. It stressed me a little bit. It wasn't like I was really worried about it, but still it was like I wanted to make sure I caught something because not only do I want to answer them, but sometimes it helps keep the conversation rolling or sparks more conversation. So, yeah, you did fine, all things considered, but I can imagine you didn't feel you provided us the best version. Yeah, and it's tough. It may have been decent, but yeah, it was frustrating to me. But I think I will try it. I did that one day. I did TikTok at the same time. So I don't know. We'll see. Had a few tools I wanted to show you, and I figure we'll do that sort of um, close it out with some tools and stuff. First of all, I was looking on Amazon, looking at their deals. Um, and this didn't seem like too bad of a deal. You might want, if you're interested in this one, you might want to jump on it because it's 91% claimed. It's a Topdon car battery tester. Let me show it to you. Let me give you a link here. It's a battery tester. Dang it. There's your link. Now let me show it to you. I got to share screen. Yeah. Not a bad price. $47.19. It's a digital one. Let's see. What does it do? And I've heard good things about Topdon. I know Jersey Tools sells them. And I think they're like a regular dealer of them. The regular price is showing at $51.99. See. Does that battery health test, cranking test, auto battery analyzer. I don't know what else. Seems pretty decent. Can y'all see? Okay. How about now? Sorry. Think vertical puts you in the loop with short scroller, folks. Yeah. Your iPad was doing reverse image is the only thing I noticed. Yeah, that was frustrating. Still black screen. Okay, it should be up now. Sorry about the black screen. I forget that when I do that, I can't go look at it regular. I've got to look at it. But this looks pretty decent. If I didn't have, I've got an old analog one. I forget the name brand, but it's one of the older name brands, real quality. But it's analog, it's got the needle and everything. If I needed one, I would have probably bought this one. But that being said, let me show you this other one. Card. Now this is a battery tester that does a printout, and it gives you more information and everything. This would be good for, like Pete, be good for you. So you can have something printed out to give your customer if they want it. Sometimes they're like that. They want to see it, because people don't trust, they get burnt by mechanics, and there isn't a ton of good ones like people that are honest like you, Pete, and me. I try to be honest with them. I mean, I'm cheap too, and I'm sure you're super great price. So, but it's still good to have around, and I think this actually does more than the other one, but I don't know. I should have looked at it. Crank test, battery test, charge test, playback data. I don't know. So I got a digital battery tester, but when it says the battery's bad, I pull out the traditional load tester. Yeah, because it gives you, even though the digital ones give you information, it doesn't feel the same. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say. You want to see that analog. You want to see the better output. So see. Pete, before I'm glad I only work on my own cars. I forget which one you were under, but the rust had me cringing for you. Yeah, that sucks. The rust really sucks. 90% of the time, that's correct. Yeah. Let me end that. Another thing I wanted, well, I don't really have to show you this. I kind of looked at it because, I was here and I wanted to check out some things. The two things was these. I was kind of used to, I would give away a few pair of these. The engineer pliers, great little pliers. And I decided I wanted to look at them on Amazon and see. Well, they have went up to $22.95. And they were under $20, I think, when I give them away. Here's a link to that. Let me look, because this will tell me how much they were last time. They were $17.80 before tax. And another one that's went up is this vessel. These were roughly $22, and now they're $29. So, yeah, great little tool. But let me tell you something about these that I've experienced. I like them. I still like them, and it may or may not be my fault. I might have should have put a light coat of oil on them, but I kept these in my motorcycle. Kept these in my saddlebag. And maybe it got wet, maybe got some moisture in there, but the bits um, spot rusted on me, and there was some pretty good rust. Now, it didn't rust the whole things, every bit on the bits, but it was like, pieces of cancer on them, which was a little aggravating. I spent 30 minutes pulling. It was only one of the deals. I only have one of the deals with me. I didn't carry both lids with me. So it was 8 bits. I spent about 30 minutes oiling them and wire brushing them clean by hand instead of using a Dremel like a dummy. So there's that. But they went up. Surprised how much they went up. Maybe I shouldn't be. It's crazy the price that meats went up. Beef. It's stupid. I haven't bought steaks in a little bit. I still buy brisket because I can get it at an okay price. But steaks, they're crazy. I was buying whole rib roasts, so ribeye in roast form for $6.50 a pound before COVID, not too long after COVID. And then, man, I can't find it for less than $12 a pound now. Oh, that hit me wrong. I shouldn't have been surprised though that the price of the tools have went up. But anyway, they are absolutely amazing. Hold on. I think batteries too are kind of half the battle anymore. All the systems have low voltage protection. Yeah. And batteries, everything is what is it? Maintenance free now. And wow, that's good. It's not. I can understand AGM batteries being maintenance free. Just for anyone watching that might watch this later, AGM is absorbed glass mat. So it's not your typical lead plates with acid and regular, watery style acid that you just pour distilled water in to fill it back up. Or you can empty those batteries out and put new acid in them, and sometimes it will refurbish them some. You can also hook them up to certain battery chargers that will I can't think of the word. What's the word I'm looking for, Pete? It will deoxidize them or something. I forget what the word is. But anyway, yeah. But you don't maintenance your batteries quite so much anymore like you used to. I think you can still pop the tops off of regular liquid cell batteries, but yeah. do they're absolutely amazing pliers. Fan pliers are basically the same thing. I use the hell out of the engineer pliers. Yeah, they're good. They're damn good pliers. I had them in here on working on my Leathermans or my Gerbers. Did you see what I did there? Uh, see, yeah, we got a lot of rust here as well. We burn a lot of miles. Basically, run mine until the rust is gone to create problems. Try to get 12 to 15 years out of a vehicle. Yeah, the rust belt. I've seen some nasty vehicles that come from Indiana and here, like northern Kentucky and everything. There's just some absolutely crazy rusted out vehicles. Some of the trucks my old boss was having me go look at with him, I just cringe every time I looked at them because I mean there was one that had at least the eighth of an inch into a cat diesel engine block. It was ridiculous, and he wanted to buy it, and he probably got frustrated with me because I was not having it. I was I was trying my best to talk him out of it. I understand he's a business owner, but I would rather spend 5, 10,000 more on a vehicle I didn't have to worry about rusting to and constantly scabbing the frame back together and stuff. And these were all old salt trucks. The engines might have been decent, but still, the one with the engine rusted real bad was the worst example. But all of them, I couldn't even think about it. Uh, oh my God, steak. And wife and I got steak for the first time a few weeks ago. Been like 6 months, and I was craving some $35. Ooh, that's rough. But then again, it's $35 to go to Longhorn and get the regular ribeye. So, ugh, which I did Friday night. And if you went out to those steakhouses like that, Longhorn, I don't know, I can't remember the quality on the steak I got at Texas Roadhouse last time. And I haven't been to Outback or any of those here lately. But the quality of the steak has went down at a Longhorn. I like them. They're my go-to steak restaurant, but the prices has went up a little, but the quality of steak has went down. I think they're probably using choice or maybe less now because it's tougher and they ain't cooking it right anymore either. It's hit or miss. It's frustrating me because it's my favorite place and I'm getting unhappy with them. But yeah, I can't afford that's too much. Yeah, it's a lot. Wife and I barely go out to eat. So once in a while we treat ourselves. Select is the lower, right? Yeah. So it's prime, choice, then select. And I think there's an ungraded. I could be wrong, but I think there's an ungraded version under that. Um, I just told Michelle that Rob, and she said is I just told Michelle that Rob, and she said it's too late for me now. Uh, I'm trying to look back through here and see what that was an answer to, but it don't matter. Uh, we've been in here hour and 20 minutes. Oh, she wants some steaks now. Yeah. I've got a little bit in the freezer from us buying them at a little better price. So I need to eat them. They might not be any good now. They've been in the freezer at least a year. Um, we have ate stuff that's been in the freezer at least a year. And sometimes it's got a taste, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. A year is about what you're supposed to, 6 months to a year. I don't know. But anyway, thank y'all for coming in here again. Thank y'all for supporting me. Um, hey, I enjoy this every week. I enjoy it. I look forward to it. And you know, I am not looking forward to this summer when, even though I'm going to be enjoying vacation, I will probably miss a few weekends on here, but it is what it is. Thank y'all. Y'all have a great week. I'll see y'all next Sunday, and yeah, we'll talk about some other stuff, and we'll see what else I got to say about the socks. So y'all take care. Have a good night. Have a great week. See y'all in the next one.